Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I want to show you one trick for getting ultra smooth compression. We're going to be going over a neat little trick here for getting really smooth compression today, but before we dive in, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process in its entirety and really start to hone your workflow as an engineer, then I have just the thing for you. It is my 7-step mixing checklist, and it's just a simple PDF that will walk you through the entire mixing process step by step to help you get professional and radio ready mixes without any more of the hassle and without any more of the guesswork. It is a completely free guide, and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's jump in here and talk about smooth compression. We're going to be looking at this pair of acoustic guitars here. This is what we're going to be doing the compression on. But before we jump into the actual instrument itself and the actual compression technique, let me play you what the mix is sounding like as a whole so you can hear the instrument in context. Then we'll narrow in to just the acoustic guitar. Bear in mind this is a finished mix, and we're just going to tweak the compression a little bit on this acoustic guitar to make it really smooth and make the guitar feel really smooth overall. So it's not so chunky sounding. We're going to get more rhythm from it rather than a percussive element from the acoustic guitar here. So take a listen. Here's our finished mix as it stands. If I can switch over to my microphone. Here we go. Here's our finished mix here.
Wait, it'll be a little longer. She's coming for you. She'll get here fast as she can. Just wait, gotta be a little stronger. You'll make it all through. Don't lose sight of her head.
So you can hear our acoustic guitar has that percussive nature to it. It's being played a little bit more percussively. And when I was dealing with this in the original mix, I reached for this Everest style compressor here, and I had it on a smoother setting here, so a slower attack and a medium style release. So it was being a little bit more gentle. It was moving in time with the guitar, and the kind of the vintage vibe we're getting from the compressor helps with the percussiveness of the acoustic guitar as well. But I want to opt for something a little bit smoother here. So we're going to disable this compressor here, and I'm going to pull in the stock compressor here inside of Studio One. Now this is a cool trick called butter compression. This is something I learned a long time ago from Joe Gilder. If you know me, you probably know Joe Gilder. He's been around doing this a lot longer than I have. He's one of the people I learned from as I was coming up and building out my studio here in Joliet. So butter compression, what we're going to do here is there's a couple key components of it. So our ratio, we're going to start all the way down here at 1:1. We'll set our knee back up, kind of medium here, and then we're going to pull our threshold all the way down here. So even though our threshold is all the way down at this point, since our ratio is at 1:1, we're not doing any compression yet. So now our attack and release, I'm going to set these rather quick here. So we're going to go a 5 millisecond attack, and we'll do like a 20 or 30 millisecond release here, anywhere in this range, and you should be pretty good here. These faster style settings are going to help keep it very smooth and very gentle sounding. So even though our threshold's all the way down, we can keep it really gentle, or we can layer it on, but it's still going to sound really smooth and pretty transparent sounding. You're not going to hear this compressor like pumping on the signal here. I'm going to turn adaptive off on this unit as well, just so it's not working as hard on the unit here or trying to do anything that I don't know. I don't want it adapting to the sound at all. I want it to do exactly what I want it to do here. So I want you to take a listen here. Now the way we're going to get compression here is by pulling our ratio up. So our threshold is all the way down here. So as we pull up our ratio, that's where we're going to get our compression. So take a look and take a listen as we pull up our ratio here on the acoustic guitar. So I've pulled the ratio up to about 1.1 here. So very, very gentle ratio still. But again, since our threshold is all the way down, we're always going to be doing compression here. So we're doing about 3 dB of compression. But again, if you watch our meter here, watch how quickly it lets go of our signal when there's nothing happening. So while the guitar is happening, it's doing this nice, gentle 3 dB of compression here on our guitar. And again, it's ultra smooth here. So you can hear how those transients kind of round out a little bit because of how fast our attack and how fast our release is here. And because we're always doing this 3 dB of compression. It's not going in and out. So the whole guitar is getting this 3 dB compression. And then watching these little empty spots here where the guitar isn't playing, watch how fast the unit lets go so there's no compression going on. And then once it comes back in, our compression comes back in. So it's kind of melding with our guitar here. So while the guitar is going, we're getting compression. While it's not going, there's nothing happening. Our compressor immediately lets go. So take a listen one more time and watch our meter here. I'll A-B the compression here, and then we'll keep going from there. Hear how much smoother and rounded our guitar sounds with the compressor in? That's what we're looking for here. Now we lose a little bit of volume, so let's add our makeup gain back in so we're sitting a little bit more even in and out of the compressor here. So our compressor is still doing its usual job, right? It's still pulling down the bigger peaks on the guitar and evening out the signal or the volume level of the guitar, but it really rounds out these transients and rounds out the peaks. So it dims down or pulls back the percussiveness of this acoustic guitar so it's not so intrusive inside this mix here. Now, just for kicks here, just for fun, let me pull up the ratio a little bit further so you can hear what it sounds like if we really crank this up. And you can hear what it sounds like if we really layer on the compression with this technique here. So you start to hear the compressor working a little bit because of how much compression is going on. But notice we're doing like 9 or 10 dB of compression there, and it doesn't sound that drastic. A being the compressor, it doesn't sound like we're squashing the crap out of this acoustic guitar here. It still feels pretty transparent and pretty smooth here, even though you're starting to hear the compressor work a little bit. You're starting to hear some of the artifacts from it. So I probably wouldn't go this far with this technique here. With this kind of smooth compression like this, I'm usually only doing maybe 3 or 4 dB of compression, and it's usually on something like this, like acoustic guitar, or maybe a pad or gentle piano patch, where I just kind of want to round out some edges a little bit. This isn't something you want to push very hard into. I just wanted to show you here for demonstrations. Even when you push really, really hard into it, it stays pretty transparent compared to how normal compression settings would sound, doing about 9 or 10 dB of compression here. So let's jump back here to where we were sitting with 1.1 dB of compression. We'll do one more round of A being here on our acoustic guitar, and we'll throw it inside the mix here as well for our final comparison. So here's without it inside the mix, and then I'll click it in. You can hear what our guitar sounds like inside the mix with compression.
Wait, wait, it'll be a little longer. She's coming for you. She'll get here fast as she can. Just wait, wait, gotta be a little strong.
So you can hear inside the mix, this butter style compression or this smoother style compression helps to round out those bigger peaks and those bigger transients on our acoustic guitar while doing this nice gentle 3 dB compression, pulling those peaks down, evening out our guitar, rounding off these rougher edges and helping it sit better inside the mix. I hope that was helpful for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you are ready to take your mixes to the next level and really start dialing in your workflow as an engineer, then I have just the tool for you, and it is completely free. It is my 7-step mixing checklist, and you can download it below to start creating more professional mixes in less time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.